Madam President and colleagues of the Senate, today we have an opportunity to meet a man that you've heard a lot about. Royce White, as you know, was one of the greatest basketball players from Iowa State University and led the 2012 Cyclones in points, rebounds, assists, steals, block shots, and was the only Division I player in the country to lead his team in all 5 statistics. In a year in which Iowa State expanded its prowess in the field of basketball with Fred Holberg as its coach, Royce White was voted the 2011 and 2012 Big 12 preseason newcomer of the year, was the first Phillips 66 Big 12 Rookie of the Week, following his first double-double performance against Lehigh, and followed that up 11 times in that season as one of the few Iowa State players ever to have that kind of statistics. He ended his season with 11 double-doubles. White finished the season as the team leader in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, making him the only person in the Division I to do so. White was the only player in the nation to lead his team in all 5 of these statistics and led the Cyclones to its division NCAA tournament victories in the first 2 rounds, but lost to Kentucky. On March 21st, 2012, Royce White chose to forego his junior and senior year at Iowa State and became eligible for the draft. He was drafted by the Houston Rockets on June 28th with the 16th pick in the first round. Royce White had many accolades as a basketball player, and many times we would introduce him to the Senate on those statistics alone. But he's not here today because of his achievements on the basketball court. He's here today to talk about mental illness, his mental illness, and at 7 o'clock tonight, he will be at Creative Visions talking on a community forum about health and mental illness. This is a story that has not ended. It's a transition in which Royce White wants to share with us. On October 1st, he missed the opening practice of his contractual requirements with the Houston Rockets because of the inability of the NBA and the Rockets to address the obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety disorder that Royce has. After seasons with his own long-term doctor, Royce requested permission to purchase a bus in order to diminish his flight schedule and the impact of his fear of flying on his own mental health. The Rockets and White came to an agreement regarding eliminating many of the triggers that affect possible anxiety disorders, including his extensive travel by personal bus rather than flying. White missed the first week of training before he agreed to join the team. A few games into the season, White had a dispute with the team regarding the handling of his anxiety disorder, leading to his absence from the team. These events coincided with the Rockets' plan to assign Royce White to their Rio Grande Valley Vipers NBA Development League affiliate, along with 2 other players. The team agreed to meet with White on November 19th to resolve his issues. By the end of the week, the situation remained unresolved. 2 weeks after the situation began, the Rockets were optimistic. But a month later, White was confirmed to begin practice sessions with the Rockets within the week. After Christmas, he had not shown up for the workout. At the end of December, they assigned him to the D-League, Rio Grande Valley Vipers, and he began training with the team. At the end of December, he again refused to practice with the Vipers. An explanation White issued a statement summarizing the objection, saying that the environment was unsafe. White requested involvement of mental health professionals. That was not granted. In January of 2013, this last January, White stated, "Chances are very high he would never play an NBA game," blaming what he believed to be a league-wide lack of protocol on mental health issues. He further stated he did not hold the Rockets to blame, but he still wanted to play for the Houston Rockets, but that he was unable to perform his contract, and so the Rockets released him. At the end of that month of January, the Rockets and White mutually agreed that he would report to the Rio Grande Valley Vipers in February. He passed the physical, he made his professional debut, and he played 18 minutes and scored 8 rebounds and 7 points and 4 assists. Following the reconciliation, a USA Today story detailed Royce's situation, clarifying his specific mental illness as generalized anxiety disorder, with elements that include panic attacks, fear of heights, and traveling, especially by plane, an obsessive compulsive disorder. Although Royce endured 20 flights with Iowa State, the NBA schedule was 98 flights. White had attempted to cope with the travel through the use of Benadryl, but that reduced his energy level, likened it to his disorder to a day-to-day physical injury in which expectations can be unclear. As I said, he made his debut with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, won the game that he was in, but White announced via Twitter that following the professional and medical advice, he could no longer play for the Vipers. After missing 3 road games, White returned to the Vipers for the final 6 games, in which they all won. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story in which could affect any of us, all of us, friends and neighbors. This is a very public story of a man who has exceptional talent. To Royce White, it is a talent in basketball and athletics. It could be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, a mechanic, a direct caregiver. It could be any profession which mental illness affects their outcome. We've spent 3 years debating mental health reform, and we have been, and we are very close to establishing a design and appropriating money that will treat every Iowan the same, no matter what his or her disorder is. It could be chronic, or it could be minor. But Royce White is here and will be making public statements and will be traveling on his disorder and its effect on individuals, professionals, on the game of basketball. So I would like to have you join me in welcoming one of the best, greatest stars of Iowa State basketball, a professional and a man who has more courage than we can see on the statistics of his basketball career, courage to stand up, talk about his mental health, and provide some guidance to young Americans and young Iowans not to be afraid anymore. We can talk about this.